Hello, everyone. Today is November 2nd. Welcome to the City of Revere Human Rights Commission. At the current moment, it is 5:12 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are currently at the City Council chambers. I will now call the meeting to order. Do we have anyone on Zoom from the list of commissioners? All right. Next, we're going to go for roll call of commissioners. Attorney Molly McGee,
Here.
Commissioner Pitch,
Present.
Dr. Garcia,
Present.
unfortunately, Chief Bright will not be joining us due to an emergency with the fire department, as well as, on a separate occasion, as well as Reverend Tim Boogerman and Chief Callahan. Before we move on to land acknowledgement and the rest of the agenda for today, we would like to present a moment of silence for the innocent lives lost in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. All right. Thank you very much for that. For land acknowledgement, we are on the land of the Pawtucket, and we encourage any Indigenous peoples or First Nations people to join our meeting and our conversation that we have now and for future meetings. For the approval of the minutes from the October 5th monthly meeting, can I please have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Madam Chair. Second.
Thank you. For the monthly acknowledgements, yesterday started the Native American Alaskan Heritage Month, as well as Day of the Dead, which also includes today. November 9th will be World Freedom Day. November 11th will be Veterans Day. November 13th is World Kindness Day. November 16th is International Day of Tolerance. November 17th is International Students Day. November 20th is Transgender Day of Remembrance. November 23rd is Thanksgiving. November 24th is Black Friday. And November 27th is Cyber Monday. Amongst the commissioners, is there any other events or holidays that that is worth mentioning in our meeting today? All right. For anyone who is currently watching our meetings, and if there's any holidays or events that you think that we should include in the calendar that is worth mentioning, either for the next month or the following Human Rights Commission meetings, please reach out to the HRC, or you could go to the Revere Human Rights Commission website on revere.org, and you could submit. You could have a submission for any kind of holiday that you want. So make sure to check that out. Moving on from there, just something to bring back from our last monthly meeting. We did have a circle with our good friend of ours, Strong Oak, and we had conversations surrounding Indigenous Peoples Day and Columbus Day, and just how can we move forward as a city in terms of having these conversations. And essentially what we're going to do right now is just have a reflection from the circle. I can definitely go first. I think I learned a lot about Indigenous Peoples Day and just in general the history behind it, and I'm definitely a lot more informed about why this holiday is important on a much deeper level, and why we should definitely integrate it in our city. In order to represent those who haven't been represented in the past, and to provide justice for those who didn't get justice before. Does anyone want to go next?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. This was, I think, my second circle. I feel like it's a great privilege. I feel very honored as a commissioner to have been able to experience this with Strong Oak, to have had community members join us, felt very powerful as a commission. I hope we continue to do circles and incorporate that in practice with the commission, to see that used citywide, to see that incorporated in our criminal justice system for alternates to detention, alternates to current sentencing, current criminal justice outcomes. Hearing specifically people's perspective during that circle and allowing everybody their opportunity and sitting with what they were saying as opposed to being able to respond right away was very different than what I'm used to as an attorney. So that made me change the way I think, and I liked it, and I want to do it more.
Thank you very much, Commissioner McGee. Anyone else would like to reflect on the circle?
I'll go. I think it was a it was a very enlightening process. I have participated in previous circles. I know Strong Oak. I know the work that she does. Circle process is a it's a practice that really embraces differences. It gives people a platform where they can speak freely. They can heal, and you can clearly see that there was something that was attained on that day. People sitting around. We all may have different opinions about things, but when it comes to the circle process, it'll give you that platform where you can really express yourself, and it will also deepen your understanding of some critical issues that affect Native Americans and the whole controversy between Indigenous Peoples Day and Columbus Day. So it's a way for us to really deepen our understanding, be enlightened about things, and give everyone a voice, regardless of your perspective on certain issues. The other thing also that was mentioned by Commissioner Molly was the fact that very recently I had an opportunity to participate in a discussion at the Boston Supreme Court with Commissioner Pitch about the intent of the judicial system to incorporate circle process into the judicial practice. I think that was a powerful thing, because certainly that when you hear this concept of school prison pipeline, you hear concepts about the system that by the very nature of its existence is very rigid in terms of application of laws and and things like that. When you bring something that it's a new way of looking at things, rather than jumping from 0 to 360 in terms of applying a law, like a black and white, you have this opportunity to really to give people a chance to really avoid this temptation of running to decisions that sometimes are not made in the best interest of the person harmed and the person who caused the harm. I think it's a powerful thing to do. So I appreciate the circle process. It's something we should continue to do, and it brings our community together. I think that's the right thing to do.
Thank you very much, Dr. Garcia. Group?
I am honored and fortunate to be sitting in a circle with Strong Oak, who has been a mentor for many years. And also, circle is a form of community building, healing, is in which and way we show up and connect with one another. I like the circle process. I also like restorative justice circle, transformative circle, and I am thankful that we're able to sit in a circle at the city of Revere in this council chamber. And we hope that in the near future that our community will be joining us for the circle. And this is the beginning. There will be more to come. And circle is a way to promote equity within our community and how we take care and supporting and showing up for one another. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Pitch. I think I speak for everyone when I say, like, I think one of the most beautiful things about the circle is that it brings community together, as everyone has said, about, like, reflecting upon the circle. And, like, the fact that we had people who, other than Strong Oak, who weren't inherently Native American, which just shows the core issue of why we need to acknowledge and celebrate Native Indigenous Peoples Day. Ultimately is just addressing colonialism. I think everyone within the circle, whether it be now or just like within their ancestors, had experienced colonialism at one point. So I think we all connected at, well, at least in my opinion, connected within that point. And it just made us closer as a community. So definitely for those who weren't able to join us in person for the circle, I definitely recommend going back to that recording and really watching that interaction that we had with each other while talking about this issue and just addressing the issues surrounding National Indigenous Peoples Day, and like really provide feedback. What do you think we should talk about next? What do you think? What should we do better next time? Any kind of feedback that ultimately allows us to advance more, the more we do circles in the future. So there's that. Moving on to the next agenda item is just more discussion surrounding the Revere History Project. And I'm gonna pass it to Attorney Molly McGee to really go on and start that discussion for us.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. First, I'm not sure if this is how we do it, but I'd like a motion to establish a subcommittee for the Revere History Project, if we can talk about that today, that we briefly started to talk about it, and I think a lot of the commissioners that are here today and that couldn't be here today want to contribute. Can I ask you that, Madam Chair? Maybe we can ask Madam Clerk.
Yeah, of course. Would anyone like to make a motion to establish a subcommittee for the Revere History? Okay, well, who would like to second then?
Second.
Awesome. Well, there you go. We have on record that the establishment of a subcommittee for the Revere History Project has been established. Just to move on, just to like keep on talking about the subject, what exactly, like, what is your vision for this subcommittee? What would you like to see the commissioners do? And is there any possible way that the community could definitely be involved with as well?
Thanks again, Madam Chair. Great. Thank you so much, Commissioner Pitch, for seconding that motion. I think everybody, we've talked about it, and we have so many people interested in this project that really started from a Facebook post from a fellow commissioner just about a random fact history in the city of Revere, and it got the wheels spinning on this. What is the Human Rights Commission? Where did it come from? How did it originate back in the 80s and 90s? And then how was it reformed now in 2020? And now that we're all here, kind of how are we here? Why are we here? Some people since our last meeting have reached out. Thank you all very much for expressing interest, for watching our meetings on Zoom or watching on Revere TV YouTube after our meetings, and then reaching out. Your input. We have people commenting on Revere History Museum Facebook posts offering input that really only exists in the community. A lot of things don't exist necessarily in the archives of newspapers in Boston or in Revere. So it's firsthand accounts from people, and this is recent history right now, the 80s and 90s. But as more time goes on, people start forgetting, people move away. If you're still here, if you still remember what we might be talking about with specifically discrimination towards Cambodian immigrants in Revere in the 1980s and 1990s, the community coming together, working with, also working against immigrants and people of color. And then what happened within the Revere government to protect people, to prosecute crimes that happened. It's not all concise on Google, but you could really just Google it and the information's all there. Definitely there's resources here in Revere in our Revere Journal, as well as the History Museum. I'm just trying to piece it together, and it's just a side project. I have a full-time job, so I'm just interested to find out how we all ended up here, that I feel very connected with my fellow commissioners, all that are here today, as well as the people that have been here during our time on this commission the past 3 years. That is to say, we serve the community of Revere. I think we all feel really connected with the people that have lived in Revere and that still live here. If you would reach out to us, we would love it, and for you to offer any piece of your memories of the original Human Rights Commission, the current or past kind of politicization of who's lived in Revere, and this being a part of Suffolk County, I said that before, we're really close to the heart of Boston, and this is a historic New England city, a colonial city, what many people would say is the founding of the United States. So this is American history in the making right here in Revere. Before I go on too much of a tangent, that I look forward to working with my fellow commissioners. Thank you for being willing to join and work towards putting this project together and having it to be remembered here in Revere. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Attorney McGee, for allowing us, well, first coming up with the idea of having this project to begin with, but ultimately given us and the people of color and just like everyone else in the commission who isn't here, but as well as the community, to really join and be a part of this project that ultimately reflects on the true history of Revere. But I'm just gonna repeat what Attorney McGee mentioned. Just like whoever in the community is watching our meetings and is interested in either contributing to the project or even being a part of the project, please reach out to me or, not currently here, Director Claudia Correa, and then we could definitely have those conversations starting and get this project really going, because that's ultimately what we're here to do, is to have everyone be represented in the best way possible, or even the good, the bad, and the ugly of the history of Revere, because that's what we would like to see, the true history of Revere. So does anyone else want to comment on whether it being part of the subcommittee? What would you like to see from the subcommittee?
I don't have anything to add, but to commend Attorney McGee for the initiative and also for working on the project. I think it's, producing a product or a document of such caliber. It's something that will enrich our community, and also it's something that will be part of our collective memory. How many things that we have done in the city that has never been written down, right? People need to have, it's like sometimes they say that the people without history is basically people that do not have a dignity, right? So you don't have an identity. So any piece of information that we can write, shape, put it out there for the public to know and read enrich their intellectual capacity, their understanding of the city. I think all those things are important to us. I think she should be commended for the effort. Nobody asked her to do that. That's something that she's passionate about. She wants to contribute. And I think it should be something that we should support her, wholeheartedly. So those are the comments I'd like to make.
Thank you very much, Dr. Garcia. Go ahead, Commissioner
I'm
Page.
also in full support of Attorney McGee for putting together such a project. Can't wait to contribute. Thank you.
Before we adjourn the meeting, is there any other businesses that we would like to bring up in addition to the agenda today that we would like to mention to the public? All right, with that being said, there's currently no one in the audience. Is there anyone on Zoom? With that being said, I would like to adjourn this meeting. Can I please have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second the motion.
All right. In agreement, will everyone raise their hands and say aye for the adjournment of the meeting?
Aye.
Aye. All right, meeting is adjourned.